Welcome, climate viewers. This is Jim Lee from ClimateViewer News. It's November 3rd, 2021, which means it's one day before my birthday. Tomorrow, I will be 45 years on the planet Earth, spinning around the sun, this beautiful round globe. And we're going to talk about another big round thing that most people don't think about much, and that's your brain and how everybody's fighting to control it. And fighting being the operative word today, because we're going to talk about NATO and cognitive warfare. This is a touchy topic because I get a lot of people who ask a lot of questions about mind control, and it always comes back to, well, they're beaming radio frequencies into my brain and all of this stuff, but mind control is much simpler, and it begins with and ends with words. Now, it's true, there may be some youngster in chat. Hey, man, 45 years. It's like I went from a 44 Magnum to a Colt 45. Bruh. For those who are new to the channel and you're going to be watching this on one of the other alternative media outlets that I upload to, please come over to YouTube despite your disgust and hit that subscribe button. If you can find it in your heart to support, or you want to just send me a birthday present, hit me up on that PayPal. I'd greatly appreciate it. What we're going to talk about today here is a touchy subject of word control before we get into the NATO mind control, because at the end of the day, most people are very controlled by words. And if you have not read it yet, I suggest that everybody go over to climateviewer.com/propaganda, or you can just click propaganda up here on the main menu bar and check out Propaganda, Fake News, and Activism. And the link is right here. Read The Anatomy of Slave Speak. I also like to call it the Jedi mind trick. These are not the conspirators you are looking for. These are not the insurrectionists you're looking for. But word control, as best put by Robert Anton Wilson, language creates spooks that get into our heads and hypnotize us. It is hard to fight an enemy who has outposts in your head. Sally Kempton and Joseph Stalin, ideas are more powerful than guns. We would not let our enemies have guns. Why should we let them have ideas? But even more importantly, Carl Sagan, when talking about how people can be really just blown away by and mind controlled by words, is that you get to a place where you cannot believe the truth. And it's getting harder and harder every day to be able to perceive the difference between fact and fiction. And a lot of that is based on our life experiences, our perceptions. But you have to understand that there's always going to be a mind war going on, whether it's in commercials where they use fear, uncertainty, and doubt, neuro-linguistic programming, narrative networks. If you have not familiarized yourselves with these terminologies, my propaganda page is a great starting point. Beyond that, we started to get into the chemical, the nanotechnology, the microwave warfare. There are so many other layers to this onion, but it all starts with fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and words, or slave speak. And Carl Sagan said, one of the saddest lessons of history is this: if we've been bamboozled long enough, we tend to reject any evidence of the bamboozle. We're no longer interested in finding out the truth. The bamboozle has captured us. This is the most important part. It is simply too painful to admit to ourselves that we've been taken. Once you give a charlatan power over you, you almost never get it back. Now, this is true of many conspiracy theories, YouTube channels, mainstream media, the big, news outlets, fake journalists, fake news, There are so many people who influencers. Yes, this is live. What's up? Why don't we just, since we're having a conversation here, we'll just hit that button right there. One of the main problems that I see with society today is that a lot of people don't understand when they're being manipulated. And that's really, do you have a good bullshit detector? And if so, how did you come by it? Did you come by it because you were manipulated in the past and you learned from experience? A lot of people are just too young. They don't have that wisdom that comes with age and being burned. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, you get the idea. Shame on me. So we really have to get to a point where we can, wait, especially if you're going to get into these truther or activist world. There are a lot of people who are into politics, or a lot of people even into sports, that cannot discern fact from fiction. And they let their own personal biases get in the way of their ability to discern fact from fiction. So I hope that you guys will take the time to go through the propaganda page and check that out. Because it's going to give you an overview of what most people who are, have been in this game for quite a while and understand how mind control works, can totally get down with that. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to flip back over here to the page, and I have, sections on fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Or as they say, go shopping, stay scared. FUD is generally a strategic attempt to influence perception by disseminating negative or dubious or false information. An individual firm, for example, might use FUD to invite unfavorable opinions and speculation about a competitor's product, to increase the general estimation of switching costs among current customers, or to maintain leverage over a current business partner who could potentially become a rival. The term originated to describe disinformation tactics in the computer hardware industry, but have since been used more broadly. FUD is the manifestation of the appeal to fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Now, if this doesn't resonate with you, then maybe you have heard of MK Ultra, the CIA mind control experiments, where they specifically used a state of fear, uncertainty, and doubt to completely wipe the minds of individuals, and then build them back. I personally experienced this at Lackland Air Force Base when I, did 3 years ROTC in high school. And then I went and joined the Air Force. I got a 98 on my ASVAB, had it made, was going to be in spy satellite optics, went out to Lackland Air Force Base, was going to have 2 stripes on my shoulder when I left, did 3 years of tech school. And then I was going to be an officer immediately following that. But you know what got in the way was all of the fear, uncertainty, and doubt and obvious reprogramming tactics that they were using on me, and my inability to just cope with the bullshit. Needless to say, I didn't make it out of basic training because I could not accept all of that brainwashing. Now, that's not a knock on anybody who joins the military, because I still, in certain parts of my brain, I wish that I could have, had a career in the military, but that's beside the point. The point is that I could not accept that when I was standing in a line taking, 12 shots, and when I raised my voice to say, hey, what the F are you guys shooting me with? That literally 3 drill instructors grabbed me and escorted me through the rest of the line. And from that point forward, this is like 3rd week of basic training, I was done. And I didn't realize how little I knew about the world or what I had signed up for. This whole experience was a shock and awe, fear, uncertainty, and doubt scenario where they try to completely break you down to build you up, as they like to say. Now, a lot of the media does the same thing. And there are many people who claim to be activists. There are many podcasters, influencers who are out there who preach a gospel of, their own fear, uncertainty, and doubt, whether it be about climate change or vaccines or 5G or, January 6th, you name a topic, there is somebody out there who is trying to influence you and control your mind. And once you accept their doctrines, they have power over you. That is the definition of slave speak, language that maintains the master-slave relationship. So we're going to get deeper into this now that I've kind of set up all this 11 minutes in, because as you'll see, there's a lot more to this story. So fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Of course, L. Ron Hubbard's Technique 88 on how to control people is to lie to them. If you don't know L. Ron Hubbard, that's the Scientology guy. The false left-right paradigm, or the Hegelian dialect, how television works, neuro-linguistic programming, perception management, and destroying reputations. One of my favorite quotes ever: glass, china, and reputation are easily cracked and never well mended. Ben Franklin. Or as Michael Dell, Dell Computer, the internet is a weapon just sitting there on the table. Either you'll pick it up or your competitor will. So we have all of these weapons at our disposal, that obviously the military and corporations use. In the military, it's has been previously known as psychological operations, psychological warfare, narrative networks. Now, I don't hear anybody talking about that one, but people probably should look into narrative networks more. And of course, the new doctrine, mind war. And as we're going to get into in just a second, cognitive warfare, which encompasses more than just what they've been doing in the past. And then, of course, in the corporate world, it is neuro-linguistic programming, public relations being, what is this website? I missed it. It is climateviewer.com/propaganda. I made all of my fact pages one word to make it very simple. Why Ben Franklin said that about China? Because chat, you so funny. you guys are cracking me up. Let me put the chat window back up. So it's all in the corporate world has always been known as public relations, or in the governmental world, politics, public relations. But the newer term for it is perception management, and perception management is really, as you can see here, it's a pretty simple process. They do a perception audit. This is the start. What do people think about? Let's use me as an example. Jim's ability to make freaking YouTube videos. So I do a perception audit. I start looking at what people have to say. Well, he's long-winded. He says a lot of knows. Okay, I got to work on that. So communication objectives: be shorter-winded. I'm sucking at that. What is my target audience? My target audience is people who are generally already somewhat associated with these topics that I talk about, and I like to delve deeper into them. Positioning and key messages. Writing down a list of things that you're, going to repeat on the regular day basis till people understand these. Like, don't talk to me about climate change unless you know about the climate changers. Things like that. Core program elements: create a timeline, budget and control, evaluation, situation analysis, and then repeat the cycle. So work on how the public perceives a problem. Let's say the problem is immigration, or it's vaccines, or it's insert current argument problem, disinfo problem on internet, or let's say the Iraq war, as we're going to get into with this cognitive warfare. Perception audit says we lost the Iraq war because, as the military put it, we lost the hearts and minds of the American people. That's a very interesting thought. So, what I've also learned in the past, as a hacker, I've been, a computer hacker since I was 11 years old. As I mentioned, tomorrow is my birthday. I will be 45. Now, I'm a little out of practice because I haven't been a bad boy in a very long time. But as far as hacking goes, most people assume that it's, like you see in the movies, that most of hacking is just, nerds or, dark, shady Russians and, Ukrainians sitting in the dark, on the dark web and doing all these dark things. But in reality, the majority, and I would say 70% possibly, of hacking occurs in the human brain. And as far as if you ask any hacker out there, they will probably tell you the same thing I'm about to tell you, that the hacker Bible is right here on the screen, and it is called Social Engineering, the Art of Human Hacking. To give you a short version of this, instead of me spending hours, days, weeks, months trying to break into your computer to get into your website data, I can call up the tech support idiot and then give them just enough information. I'm away, I'm at the beach, I don't have my laptop with me, I really need to be able to give my password to my coworker. He's at an office in Newark. Please help me out here. Social engineering is a way of circumventing people's logic and reason and getting them to empathize with you, to give you the information that's valuable. So this is where the mind war, cognitive warfare, and the actual act of warfare, or the hacking of the brain, come together. Now, I have this book. It's since been reprinted. It actually has a newer edition now called Social Engineering, the Science of Human Hacking. But I still have the original book. Lend it to somebody, going to have to get that back. I think you know who you are if you're watching this. I'm coming for you. Give me my damn book back. But regardless, so I saw this pop up on Zero Hedge. And I had to cover this because it says NATO's plans to hack your brain. And as you'll also notice, thank you very much for the happy birthdays. As you're going to notice, they say authored by such and such at the Gray Zone. So screw these guys, we're out. So we're going to go to the Gray Zone where it was originally posted, because I always like to go to the original source. It's better that way. And you'll see that the original article came out October 8th of last month. I've been sitting on this one for a minute because I'm currently going blind in my left eye, and that light is really freaking bright. So I need to speed this up. Behind NATO's cognitive warfare, battle for your brain waged by Western militaries. Now, to summarize, because China and Russia have started brain warfare initiatives, NATO needs to up their game and go to cognitive warfare studies, in a nutshell. Now, of course, it says Western governments and NATO military alliance are developing tactics of cognitive warfare using the supposed threats of China and Russia to justify waging a battle for your brain in the human domain to make everyone a weapon. Oh boy. Oh boy. All the links for this video will be pinned in a comment on the YouTube page. Because I'm not going to go and do it on Odyssey and Rumble and BitChute. So you're going to have to come to the YouTube page if you want to get these links. Otherwise, you can Google it or DuckDuckGo it, as I've been doing lately. But regardless, this is a pretty lengthy article. Not going to read it to you. We're going to go to where it came from, Innovation Hub. And you see Cognitive Warfare Project reference documents. And there are quite a few here. And just the titles alone should be enough to make you want to shake your freaking head. So obviously the one in question, we're actually going to take a peek at this one. Cognitive warfare, an attack on truth and thought. By these dudes from Johns Hopkins University. Cognitive biotechnology. The weaponization of neurosciences. I don't like where this is going. I really don't like where this is going. Analysis facing worldwide jihadist violence and conflicts. Okay. The combination of social sciences and system engineering can help the analyst to improve the production of intelligence and develop elements of strategic forecasting. In this study, the authors detail the methodology through which they succeeded in integrating social science concepts into intelligence process. To do so, they present the innovative method called Weber that has been applied in 2016 to jihadist violence as part of an operational research. Their findings of Weber are illustrated in 7 geographical polls. Social sciences and system engineering. Oh yeah, we already talked about that. Social engineering. So if you're not familiar with social engineering, you probably should be, because this is a big topic. In fact, one of the best documentaries I've ever seen is Social Engineering, and it is linked in my Slave Speak TV playlist. Just simply go to climateviewer.com/propaganda, and right up here at the top, you will see my Slave Speak TV. Click on that bad boy, and you're going to get a George Orwell video to begin with. But as you can see in the links here, I've got language, thinking, levels of abstraction, church government, the main terrorcrats, church government, the main terrorcrats, continued interpreting media, neurolinguistic programming 1 through 3. And you come on down here to human resources, social engineering in the 20th century, high quality, full. Watch that documentary. Put it on whenever you got the time. What's up, Radio Archives? Down the rabbit hole, man. Been a while. Yeah, I got to come back on your show sometime. It's been a while. Watch this one for sure. But if you really want to get, as deep as possible, in the shortest time possible with the least amount of effort, literally just put on my Slave Speak TV playlist right here and let it roll, and it'll explain it all to you. How to brainwash a nation, a student's guide to the university, War, a whole lot. Ed Griffin, the man, the myth, the legend on the left-right paradigm. And as you'll notice, videos be getting deleted out of here because a virus called fear. They really don't want you to know about how they're screwing with your freaking brain. Anyway, so back over to this known enemies and information 2040 and information odyssey and intelligence amplification, or on how technological paths related to genetic enhancement, neural adjuncts in the form of nanotechnology, neural interfaces, each of which stands to dramatically impact human intelligence up to and beyond the year 2040. That bro be getting a wire job right now. Whoa. Yeah, so this is part of it. Emerging neuroscience and technology. Everybody is getting in on this thing. NBIC, as we are going to find out. NBIC. So in the actual document itself, which I will blow up for you here, major fail right there. Type text to enter. Not very professional to leave some little text box in your PDF there. Big fail on that. So let's just roll through this. So they've got a whole lot of stuff on here. Hacking the individual. We already went over that. The art of human hacking. What are those deleted ones? Yeah, man. If you don't love your southern side, I don't know what side there is to love. Everything's better in the South, baby. I'm sorry. I've been around the world and I love my southern babies. Beautiful southern babies. So this is a very lengthy document, obviously 41 pages. Can't read it all. Just be too long video. People got too short attention spans. You were bred to be this way. I don't feel sorry for you. You have to fight it. Fight your ADHD. This ain't the channel for your ADHD, 30-second video flipping asses. There are plenty of channels for that. This ain't it. Maybe one day I'll be short-winded. I don't know how. I should probably do podcasts and not be doing this. Major fail. Back to that perception management thing we talked about a minute ago. But anyway, towards a new operational domain, Russian and Chinese cognitive warfare. It's about humans, recommendations for NATO. Now, they give the big disclaimer, just like they did on the Air Force 2025 documents. This Allied Command Transformation sponsored study, but the views and opinions expressed in this publication strictly reflect the discussions held on Innovation Hub forums. They do not reflect those of the Allied Command Transformation or its member nations. So none of them can be quoted as an official statement belonging to them. This is just a think piece. This is from an NGO. These are people chatting on a forum who wrote papers for or to inform NATO, kind of like the Council on Foreign Relations, the Trilateral Commission, the Bilderberger, all of the other NGOs that tell the governments what to do. This is a think tank piece to inform the military, hey, bro, you should be doing your mind warfare. So anyway, they have a lot of stuff in here, but let me go to this just real quick. So NBIC. Tell you what it means to me. All right, nanotechnology, biotechnology, information technology, and cognitive sciences. This perspective is further strengthened. All right, so let's back it up. The instruments of information warfare, along with the addition of neuroweapons, adds to future technological perspectives, suggesting that the cognitive field will be one of tomorrow's battlefields. This perspective is further strengthened in the rapid advances of NBICs, nanotechnology, biotechnology, information technology, like the Silicon Mafia, like Facebook, Twitter, and all of the IT companies that are screwing with your brain, and cognitive science. Just brain, exactly. It's a nightmare. It's a freaking nightmare. Check out YouTube site Dane Wigington. If you enjoy fear, uncertainty, and doubt, he is your geoengineering guy. So yes, if you love being scared, go check out Dane Wigington. Check out my stuff too. Enough said on that. They always come out, man. Dane, you know you're trolling. Bro, I mean, I've been in this game a while, and I can say things without saying them, and sometimes I say them, and that's why I'm not the right person for this job. But nonetheless, this job must be done. So if you like being scared of geoengineering and airplanes, go check out geoengineeringwatch.org. But if you want facts and not fiction, free from fear porn, go to weathermodificationhistory.com. Shabanga. Back to mind war. NATO's adversaries are already investing heavily in these new technologies. So nanotechnology, sticking things in your brain along with biotechnology, sticking chemicals and other things in your brain to control it physically through chemical processes, through electrical processes, information technology. Obviously, that goes back to the control of the flow of information, which is a big problem, and cognitive sciences like social engineering, perception management, psychological operations. Back to dude's article, he's got a nice little graphic down here, which kind of highlights this. I do believe it was in here. Please don't let me be wrong. Please. Okay. This is not the thing you were looking for. This is the image that I wanted to show you guys, and we'll just go to that now. So, whereas before we had PSYOPs, which is what most people are familiar with, exploitation of the error of rationality, or motivated influence versus cognitive disability. So this is where cognitive warfare is different from psychological operations. Psychological operations include things like action on beliefs, distorted perceptions, cultural illusion, anxieties and fears, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, personality weaknesses or strengths, repression. Okay. How is that different from cognitive disability? Action on cognitions, action on beliefs. Okay. Sensory and perceptive overflow versus distorted perceptions. Cultural illusion versus attentional saturation. Attentional saturation. I love this terminology here. So the fact that we're in this information overload world, that people can be so addicted to what they call hyper time, that kids are so inundated with, and I see this in my 12-year-old daughter. No shit, this happens. She's watching a YouTube video while listening to Spotify, while playing insert video game, and has all this split screen on one screen and the Spotify in the background while drawing something and talking and chatting to somebody at the same time. That's attentional saturation. That is what causes people to have ADHD so bad. In fact, when you go back to my propaganda page and you come down here to the bottom, what you'll see is that, let me close this up too, that attention deficit and activism don't mix. Does technology cause ADHD? In the last 50 years, we've created platforms in which we present things in surreal time. When you condition the mind to become accustomed to high levels of input, there's a chance that reality can just become boring. And that's really where we're at. That's attentional saturation. That what we really needed was practice in paying attention over long periods of time. That's what would have given us the power to see that we can prevail, and that thanks to the more stubborn and patient among us, we have from time to time, and we will. And thank you, climate viewers, who have made it to now the 34-minute mark, because clearly you have a longer attention span than the average jet bear. That the shrinking public attention span fostered by video is closely tied to the second important anti-intellectual force in American culture, the erosion of general knowledge. This is why so many people are apathetic, as Sinalagria. just put it, that we really are coming to a point where people are so saturated by information that they don't have time to really take it all in. And they definitely don't have the ability to really filter through what's true and what's not. It's like the Library of Babel. I've been sick for the last 2 days, so please apologize me if I take a break to cough. In the Library of Babel, it was said that the answer to every question man could ever ask, there was an answer. Somebody actually made a website for this where like literally have taken every word combination possible and stuck it on the website. So the answers are all there. The problem with the Library of Babel is, as the keeper of the library would say, that no man who ever entered the library ever found out the truth or the answer to the question they were asking. What is the meaning of life? Well, the answer is in there because every answer possible is in there. But the problem with the Library of Babel was that it included so many more lies than truth that no one who ever went looking for it were able to find their answer. That is our modern internet. That is our mainstream media. That is our everything's. And that is our problem, is that because there is our exponentially increasing ability to share information, there's also exponentially stupid people saying stupid things, or nefarious individuals, bad motivated actors who are disseminating information to infect your mind. And that's also something you need to be very wary of. And that's why I tell people, don't trust me either. Verify this stuff yourself. I could be wrong. I find out I'm wrong all the damn time. And then I go back and I revise because you know what? I hate being wrong, like anybody would. But the difference is I'm not caught up in the bamboozle, and I'm trying to be self-aware and be, self-reflective and change that, those mistakes so that I'm not part of the problem. I'm part of the solution. And I get that's the best you guys can hope for out of, a person like me, is that I do my due diligence to try to not, fill you with, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and try to motivate you to bullshit, that I'm just going to give you the tools that I have to deal with the trolls and the liars and the haters and the naysayers, so that you cannot be affected by these psychological operations, this cognitive warfare, this, perception management world that we're going to, our kids and our grandkids are definitely going to have much more of it. And it's going to be more highly tuned and refined. It's what is the Library of Babylon? You're in it. You tell me. It was the Library of Babel, but Babel. But anyway, tunneling of attention, tunnel vision. Let's focus. Look over here. One of my favorite words: prestidigitation, sleight of hand. It's a digital, kung fu. It's a verbal ninjutsu. The ability to actually flip the script. President Biden, could you tell us why you left $60 billion worth of military equipment in Afghanistan? A better question would be, why didn't we leave sooner? Misdirection. Never answer a question with a question, because if somebody answers a question with a question, clearly they don't want to answer the question. These are the types of tunneling of attention tricks, that you have to look out for. Errors of judgment and cognitive biases. So these are the differences, and they're very, very nuanced. It's not only an action against what we think. Here, I can't scroll that down, can I? I'd have to get my face out the way. Anyway, it says it's not only an action against what we think, but also an action against the way we think. Okay? Yeah. Reverse the Jedi mind trick. Beautiful. Love it. So anyway, NBSEs, this is the new battlefield for your mind. You can read the entire document yourself. It's pretty, for me, it's not a big surprise. I'm very familiar with most of this stuff. This is just the latest, spin on it, from information warfare to cognitive warfare. InfoWars, anybody? Alex Jones really nailed that on the head when he coined the website and bought the URL. But we are certainly in info war world, and there is always a war for information, and it will continue till the end of time. There always has been, always will be. The only way you can win that war is to be armed to the teeth. So you have to learn the techniques and technologies for these types of mind control apparati, I guess, in order to be able to deal with them. Because at the end of the day, this stuff's not going anywhere anytime soon. Social engineering is the art and science of getting people to comply with your wishes. It is not a way of mind control. It will not allow you to get people to perform tasks wildly outside of their normal behavior, and it is far from foolproof. Carl People Hacking, 1997. But social engineering is certainly a way to do all of those three things that he just said. It is a way of mind control. It will allow you to get people to perform tasks wildly outside their normal behavior. And I will agree, it is far from foolproof, because when a person is already prepared to deal with someone who's trying to social engineer them, you can really have a lot of fun. Especially when I get these phone calls. I get on average 20 to 30 phone calls from, social engineers that want to phish me or, sell me some kind of fake Medicare fraud scam. And if you want to have some real fun, go check out Scamming the Scammers on YouTube. There's a couple guys, not going to mention any names right now, but just really brilliant anti-scammers, some of which even hack the scammers, scammer revolts. Anyway, just great stuff, great fun. But this is the most common form of it that you see is, the criminals trying to extort money from you through social engineering. My mother-in-law falls for it every time. I have to literally snatch the phone from her and be like, they are trying to get your social security number. Why are you giving information to a random ass stranger? Jesus, Lord Christ, save me. Anyway, so then just bring this back to the bigger picture. It's not just about, warfare, because as most people know, politics is a war. And it's constantly a war. And I think you could probably tell just by the faces on the screen. Yeah, this is bad. Billionaire political meddlers, disinformation agents launch Good Information Inc. to fight disinformation. So this is right back to, it's not just a military thing. It's not just for advertisers. It's not just politics. Everybody is in a war for your mind, a war of information. And when George Orwell talked about the Ministry of Truth, George Soros went and made Good Information Incorporated. Silent weapons for quiet wars. Exactly. So when I looked at this and I was like, okay, well, let's find out what good information really is, according to these individuals. So let's just take a peek here. Dangerous information. Anybody want to take a guess what dangerous information is? Is that vaccines? That's dangerous information. Bad information. Let's see. Q information. That's just crazy. Wrong information. Directed energy weapons started the fires in California. Disproven information. Election fraud has been disproven. Right. Okay. Misinformation. Damn, they put Tucker Carlson on blast, just threw his face up there and everything. Just he is the face of misinformation. I don't watch him anymore, but I mean, sorry, Tuck. Fake information. 5G. Wake up. Disinformation. Steve Bannon. Anything alt-right. Oh, is that an OK symbol? Is that? Oh, wait. Was that? I mean, it's so stupid. The OK symbol was made up by a bunch of hacker trolls like myself on 4chan who made it up. Like, we're gonna say this is a white supremacy symbol, and we're gonna see how many of these dumb motherfuckers on the news are gonna actually roll with this. And they all fell for it. And the more they fall for it, the more we laugh. But damn, this thing has gotten out of hand. So just I mean, you just can't make this shit up. I mean, you really can't. I hate how it resets my chat whenever that's why I don't even want to switch it off, because then the chat disappears. Grab your tiki torches, because, you know, rage. So anyway, they have this really expensive, nice setup information. Good Information Inc. is a civic incubator that invests in new business models and smart solutions to counter disinformation, where it spreads by increasing the flow of good information online. Facts plus trust plus democracy equals Good Information Inc. or the Ministry of Truth, as brought to you by George Soros and other funders. Yay! We believe there's an urgent need for the regulation of social media platforms, as well as an increased investment in new models that place a higher value on serving communities truth over clickbait and protecting democracy over profits. And we believe it so much that we set a fake whistleblower on 60 Minutes, and then 2 days later she was in front of the Senate, even though Project Veritas has had like 100 bajillion whistleblowers come forward, and then none of them got a 60 Minutes interview or got to talk to Congress. We are so fucked. And that's what I keep saying to myself, especially when I look at this extremely far left group of individuals that are now building this. We have Media Matters already. Now we have Good Information Inc. We have YouTube and, you know, their Ministry of Truth, Facebook's Ministry of Truth, all of these ministries of truth deciding for us what the truth is. I don't know who these fucking people think they are, but they got another thing coming. So that being said, cognitive warfare is on the rise. Propaganda is at such a high peak right now, I can barely flip the freaking TV on. In fact, I usually don't at all. We do own a TV. We have an antenna. I do not have cable TV. I do not watch it. I do not go on my Facebook. I do not like my Facebook in a tree. I do not like my Facebook in a car. I wish I could throw it away from me. I would throw it very far. I do not like my Twitter. I do not like social media. I do not like a damn thing that was written on Wikipedia. But I look down and I see Wikipedia. Anyway, we're really in a weird place. And the more I think about it, the more it frustrates me. But we have to have critical thinking, not critical race theory, critical thinking. How about we teach good old-fashioned critical thinking in schools? so that people can learn to learn, so that people can learn to discern fact from fiction. That anytime somebody tells you there is a 97% scientific agreement, they're bullshitting you, because if I grabbed 20 people, if I grabbed 100 people, if I grabbed 100,000 people, and we tried to get them to agree on anything, never in the history of man will you ever get all 97% of people to agree on shit, let alone that gravity's real, or that the world is round, or anything for that matter. So I am a big Dr. Seuss fan. It's just in my soul. However, I've been told that I can get sued just for quoting his shit on my YouTube channel. Sad but true. So in summation, arm yourself with the tools you need to be able to discern fact from fiction. Teach your children, if you have them, to do the same. And take notice of it and practice. Turn the mainstream media news on. Flip on CNN, flip on Fox, and then try Newsmax, and then try to find out. They always say there's two sides to every story, and somewhere in the middle lies the truth. Believe none of what you hear and half of what you see, because your eyes can deceive you, and your ears certainly can too. I am always trying to find a better way to get my message across when it comes to being anti-geoengineering, when it comes to talking about plane farts, when it comes to talking about chemtrails, contrails, sounding rockets, HARP, mind control weapons, directed energy weapons, pollution, privacy, and propaganda. There's always a better way to do this, and I'm always trying to revise that, because there's so much noise out there, and people are addicted to fear. So in the lack of my ability to be scary and go down that dark path, how do I circumvent people's normal circuitry where they've already been pre-programmed to believe X, Y, and Z, and then get them to understand the truth? It's a tough job. I hope that, if nothing else, that this video will make you not double think, but question everything you've been taught to believe. Always question your beliefs. Always be looking for the next better answer. Do not be afraid to talk to people who disagree with you. In fact, live for it, because tomorrow I turn 45, and I have learned more from my haters and naysayers than I have from people who agree with me, because that's how you grow. So have those dialogues. I always say at the end of my videos, attack ideas, not people, because in that discussion, not violence, is where you will grow. So please go look at Dane's stuff. I got dudes advertising for him on my channel right now, but look at mine too. And then go out and make the decision for yourself, because you know what? We both could be wrong. And then where will we be? So with that being said, there's a war for your mind. Don't lose it. And attack ideas, not people. Tomorrow's my birthday, and I'm going to take the day off. Love you, mean it.